Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. We are here for Europa League action where home side Brighton take on Ajax, who travel to British shores in horrifying form. But with the Seagulls under Roberto De Zerbi, they have been impressive since his arrival at the club. But recently they have had a little bit of a dip in form. No wins in their last five in all competitions, with their last victory coming against Bournemouth at the Ajax in late September. For Ajax, they are currently in turmoil. 0 wins in their last 8 in all competitions, with the Dutch side sitting 17th in the Eredivisie, their worst ever start to a league season. And only a couple of days ago, they parted ways with their manager Maurice Stein, and the team is now managerless. It is Brighton's first ever European campaign and are still searching for their first victory after a home loss to Ajax Athens and an away draw in their last Europa League game against Marseille. They are looking to pick up their first ever 3 points in Europe. And for Ajax, they are also yet to win and they're yet to lose as well. They have picked up 2 draws in their opening 2 games against Ajax Athens and Marseille. So, for 2 teams that are in desperate need of a win for different reasons, will it be the Brighton in blue or the Ajax who usually bleed red? It's a big game tonight. It is beyond, thought that Ajax could get off to such a poor start to a season, but losing such key players has really caught up to them, and it's just been a horrendous start to the season for Ajax. In the summer, they did lose the likes of Mohamed Kudus to West Ham, Urian Timber to Arsenal, Edson Alvarez to West Ham as well, Calvin Bassey left, Davy Klaassen, formerly Everton, he left for Inter Milan. Tadic went on a free last season. Dusan Tadic, formerly of Southampton, scored 11 and assisted 18 in all competitions. They have lost huge characters and really world-class players, and it is just massively caught up with them. They've got a really young, inexperienced squad this season, and they need to turn the tide quickly. And a win, even though it wouldn't be in the league, any kind of victory for Ajax is important and it is needed. Just to go through their team, by the way, in terms of age, their goalkeeper, I'll go through the team in more detail, but their goalkeeper is 22, the back four, 20, 23, 17 and 25. The 3 midfielders are 20, 21 and 31, and their front three is 19, 21 and 26. If that does not scream inexperience and just lack of knowledge of the game or the experience you need, then I don't know what does, because that is such a young team. And from the weekend, they have only made 2 changes. Their goalkeeper has changed due to their goalkeeper, Gorta, getting injured in their last league game. And a midfielder, Christian Linson, who scored twice at the weekend in their 4-3 defeat to Utrecht, he's back on the bench. And he's been replaced by... Steven Berghaus. He is coming for him. So just massively inexperienced. But then you could also say the same about Brighton in terms of their inexperience in Europe. Not a lot of them have played in Europe. Milner has. Veltman has before. Gilmour. Ansu Fati. So 4 of their 11 who start tonight have a European experience. But they are at home. And they'll get right behind them now with the fact that they've drew 1 and lost 1 in their opening 2. But we'll go through the teams now in a little bit more detail, as both sides now are in the tunnel, ready to appear onto the turf of the Amex Stadium. So we'll start with the home side and we'll start with Brighton. In goal, making his 8th appearance of the season, is Jason Steele, a back 4 of James Milner, Lewis Dunk, Jan-Paul van Hecke and Joel Veltman, formerly of Ajax for 19 years. Brighton's left back tonight, signed in July of 2020 from Ajax for £900,000. He made 246 appearances for the club. 2 holding midfielders are former Chelsea man Billy Gilmour, who was part of Chelsea's Champions League win back in 2021, and Pascal Gross, who recently made his first 4 appearances for Germany from September and October, getting in the German squad for the first time. Playing through the middle, I think behind the striker, it's either going to be João Pedro or Ansu Fati. Them 2 could interchange, but them 2 new signings in the summer, they'll be playing in the forward line, and on the wings is going to be Simon Adingra signed in 2022 from Nordirland for £6 million. He's already got 2 league goals this season, both at home to Luton and at Liverpool. And on the left is going to be Kaoru Mitoma. He's featured in every game so far this season for Brighton, and he signed a new contract last Friday that will run till 2027. And for the Travellers, Ajax, who are in their worst ever form in the club's history. It'll be Diant Ramage in goal, signed for €8 million from Frankfurt. Made his first appearance for the club off the bench in the 74th minute in their last game due to Gorta, their usual first-team keeper, being injured. Well, he's second choice. Gorta, their first choice, Rulli, is also out as well. Back for 3 of them, new signings. One of them is right-back Anton Gay from Viborg for £4.5 million. Right centre-half, Josip Sitalo, also joined in the summer from Dinamo Zagreb. He'll play alongside 17-year-old Jarel Harto, who has been at the club since the age of 12. And left-back is going to be Borna Sosa, signed from Stuttgart, who he played for last season, where they survived in the Bundesliga through the relegation playoff game. Midfield 3, only one of them is a new sign, and that's Benjamin Tahirovic. Tahirovic, who signed from Roma, who played under Jose Mourinho last season. 2 central midfielders above him are going to be Kenneth Taylor and Steven Berghaus. And a front 3, one of them a new signing, that is Carlos Borges from Manchester City for £17.3 million. He has only got the 1 goal so far this season for his new club, and that did come in the Europa League against Marseille in game week 1. On the left is going to be club captain Steven Bergwijn, who's got the 3 goals so far this season in the league, and he's also got 1 in the Europa League in their last game in the 1-1 draw against AEK Athens. And then up front, leading the line, number 9 is going to be Brian Broby, featured in every single game so far this season for Ajax. He's got 2 in the league, and he is yet to score so far in the Europa League. He did get 1 in qualifying against Ludogorets, but none in the group stages so far. So they are the 2 teams. Let's see what outcome we get tonight. Polish referee of Bartosz Frankowski. The VAR is also Polish. Piotr Laski. As we are edging close to kick-off, we're just under 2 minutes away at the Amex. It can hold just under 32,000 supporters. Moved into the stadium in 2011 in their first season at this stadium. They finished 10th in the Championship, and now in 2023 they host European royalty in Ajax in the Europa League group stages. Yes, Ajax aren't quite where they are used to in the league, obviously sitting 17th at the minute with 5 points in their opening 7 games, but they are now under new management for now, momentarily. Caretaker manager is Edviges Maduro, formerly of Ajax as a player from 99 to 08. He was brought in as the assistant manager at the start of the season, but he's been brought in to be the caretaker after the sacking of Maurice Stein, the 49-year-old manager who they previously had at the start of this season. It was his first ever time in Europe for the former Ajax manager, winning twice in only his 11 games he had as Ajax manager, losing 5. His wins came in the opening league game, where they won 4-1 against a newly promoted side, and then they also beat Ludogorets away in the Europa League qualifying. But since then, it's been absolute doom and gloom. 8 games without a win. They conceded in the last minute of their last league game against Utrecht to lose that one at the weekend. They went 3-2 up in the 65th minute with Steven Bergwijn, and then lost it 4-3 after goals late on, one of them in the 90th minute and the other one in the 71st. But it's a big game. As I mentioned before as well, Brighton also 5 games without a win. They are also wanting to get back on track. A little bit of a dip, but they have had to play the likes of Manchester City away, Liverpool at home, Chelsea away. So it's not easy games for Brighton, but they won't want to fall behind. They don't want to get stuck in a rut.
Who are you?
As we are ready to get underway at the Amex. Brighton in their blue and white. Ajax in their all black third strip. It's a big night. These teams, Brighton sit 4th on 1 point. Ajax sit 3rd in 2 points, and the two teams above them have already played tonight. Marseille won 3-1, so Marseille are top with 5 points, and AEK Athens just behind them in second with 4 points. So we have kicked off. Brighton kicking left to right, Ajax right to left. It's Brighton to have early possession of the ball, midway inside their own half with Van Hecker, who will move out to the right side to Veltman, who lets it roll through to Adingra. It looks like Joel Veltman will be patrolling the right back position for Brighton with James Milner on the left. It's Mitoma just on the halfway line for Brighton, as all Ajax men currently sit behind the ball. Van Hecker on it. Dunk in the centre circle. Very, very possession-based start so far for Brighton as they move it out to the right to Veltman. Midway inside the Ajax half for the former Ajax man. Low ball to the edge of the box as João Pedro has been brought down on the edge of the box. Referee says no. It was the tackle there from Jarell Harto. And Ajax clear up the field towards Dunk, who chests it just in front of Steven Berghaus, but is able to kick it away from him back to his own goalkeeper, and Brighton can restart again. João Pedro, though, asking the question of the young centre-half, the number 4 for Ajax, Jarell Harto, who's only the age of 17. As the ball drops here on the right-hand side to Carlos Borges. Borges plays it back to Gay, and it's been a misplaced touch and a Brighton throw-in midway inside their own half here. So have a look, Veltman put a wicked ball into the edge of the box to João Pedro, just a little shove in the back. It's not enough for a foul. Brighton restart again on the halfway line with Van Hecker. Again, all Ajax players currently behind the ball. They did finish in a disappointing 3rd place last season. Ajax, a league title that they usually do win. They've won 7 Eredivisie titles since 2010. One of their lowest finishes for a while. It was their lowest finish since 2009. And now they're even lower in 17th. As Veltman, again getting forward from full-back in the final third. Playing it to his left, looking for Adingra. Comes off the feet of Steven Bergwijn. And there'll be a corner kick for Brighton. Early set piece for the Seagulls. Using their right-hand side for the first couple of minutes, with Joel Veltman causing some issues for his former side. It'll be a gross outswinger. It's a low ball to the edge of the box, actually, where Guillemot will swing it in towards the far post. It nearly drops towards Milner. Cleared midway inside the Ajax half to Joel Veltman, who will just peel out to this left-hand side here, and he plays it forward to Mitoma. Still got plenty of Ajax men behind the ball as Mitoma plays it forward, looking for Ansu Fati. Deflects back to him off Berghaus. Ball into João Pedro. Heavy touch and a clearance from Ajax, and it is pelted right back to Jason Steele on the edge of the Brighton 18-yard box, and the home side can build again from the back. It's a very defensive start for Ajax. Van Hecker on halfway, forward and out to the right-hand side to Joel Veltman. It's a touch that's just ahead of him, and he can't keep it in play. Ajax throwing midway inside their own half, and it'll be taken here by new left-back Borna Sosa. He's got the 1 assist in his only Europa League appearance so far this season. The Ajax left-back, and that came against Marseille in Game 1, where it was a 3-3 draw for Ajax in that one. They went 2-0 up in that one against Marseille, and 3-2 up as well, but were pegged back every time they were ahead. And here's Ajax on the ball for the first time. Goalkeeper Diant Ramage, just in front of his 6-yard area. He's got Sitalo to his right. He's got Harto to his left as he dribbles it forward. Brighton not pressing the goalkeeper yet. Asking Ajax questions, see if they can play out from the back. And here is left centre-half Harto. Back to his goalkeeper in the 6-yard box. Back out to Harto in the left-back position here for Ajax. Tries to clear down the line. It's been called out by João Pedro. Throwing for Ajax midway inside their own half here, as they're enjoying a little spell of possession here. The young very young Ajax side, only one player over the age of 30. Only two players above the age of 25. As it's Tahirovic. Down the line by Sosa into Taylor. Past the halfway line with a ball towards Broby. Cut out by Van Hecker, and he'll turn back towards his own goal. But he's not being pressed, so he can turn forward and play the cross to his left here. To number 5, Lewis Dunk, born in Brighton. He is making his 427th appearance for the club. Signed a new 3-year contract in July of this year till 2026. As it's Pascal Gross on halfway. Again, Ajax quickly to sit behind the ball. All 11 players. As I've mentioned before in the pre-match introduction, Pascal Gross making it into the Germany national team for the first time this year in September, and he's made 4 appearances for them. As Matoma has it on the edge of the box, tries to enter the box, try to get past Anton Gay. He's come off the Ajax right back, and it falls to Matoma near the corner flag. Chops past the full-back, into the box he goes, pulls it back. João Pedro with the first-time strike on the left foot. Couldn't quite get his foot round the ball, and wide it went. But it's electric from Matoma. Little Cruyff turn there to get away from Anton Gay, who's in tonight for Divine Wrench, who's out of the matchday squad for Ajax, their usual right back. And as Matoma pulled it back, about 12 yards out again, just couldn't quite get around it. João Pedro on his weaker left foot. It's a positive start for the Seagulls. That's Brighton. In their next 4 Premier League games, they don't face any of the usual top 6. They've got Fulham at home, Everton away, Sheffield United at home and Forest away. Their next one against one of the traditional top 6 is Chelsea away on the 2nd of December. So a nice little run of fixtures for Brighton, as they are currently 5 without a win in all competitions. All 3 losses they picked up in that 5 have been away from home. As it's Kenneth Taylor for Ajax, back to Sosa at left back, Tahirovic. Steven Berghuis down the left channel, looking for Bergwijn in the final third here. Joel Veltman will go over on the challenge, and he will win the free kick in the right back area. A little bit soft there by Steven Bergwijn. Don't think there's much contact on Joel Veltman. As Brighton will play out from the back midway inside their own half, with former Chelsea man Billy Gilmour. Works out to the left here to Barcelona loanee Ansu Fati. He's passed forward towards Matoma. Has been cut out here by Carlos Borges. It'll be a throw-in for Brighton. Back on the halfway line, with Billy Gilmour entering the centre circle. Again, Ajax quick to get behind the ball and be in shape, setting up in a 4-4-2 when defending. Pascal Gross. He's got movement from João Pedro, making a run around the corner. He'll use that as a decoy and play it to Adingra, who's tackled on the edge of the 18-yard box by Borna Sosa. And Ajax now have it with Tahirovic. Back to their goalkeeper here, Ramage. Clears it first time, beyond the halfway line, but no Ajax player chasing it. And it will be a collection here on the edge of the 18-yard box for Jason Steele. It's Lewis Dunk right on halfway line here for Brighton, as the Seagulls try and break through this black wall of shirts they've got in front of them. Pascal Gross just towards this right-hand side, dinks it into the box, but no Brighton player makes a run into the box, so it'll run right through into the Ajax goalkeeper's hands. Deant Ramage, who signed a contract when signing in the summer from Frankfurt till 2028, was part of the Frankfurt squad that won the Europa League back in 2022, as he hoofs it up the field here towards the Ajax right, where Borges will give chase, but Milner will be able to head it back towards Jason Steele, but he can't avoid the corner. It's the first chance in the game for Ajax to get forward, really. Steven Berghuis is over it on the far side, left-footed, so it'll be an in-swinger as it enters the box. Tahirovic is in there, Sitalo, Harto, Broby. Only 4 men in the box, 2 on the edge as well. In-swinger, near post, helped on by Milner. Tahirovic with the header towards goal. It's flat, it's wide, and it'll be a goal kick for Brighton through Jason Steele, who, interestingly enough, was part of the GB squad in the Olympics back in 2012. Jason Steele, the 33-year-old, didn't make an appearance, but was part of the squad. And he signed a contract extension at the start of this year with Brighton to see his stay here till 2025. Dunk has it on halfway, just under 10 minutes in. No big chances yet for either side. It's Brighton who's had all of the football, as they are playing an Ajax side void of any confidence. Dunk switches out to the left of Matoma, midway inside the Ajax half. Down the line it goes into the final third, looking for Milner. Goes over on the challenge of Tahirovic. And it will be, it's actually Satalo, the Croatian centre-back. And it will be a free kick for Brighton. On the far left-hand side, pushing the back there on Milner. So free kick on the far side. Chance to get the ball into the box. They can send the centre-halves up there, the likes of Lewis Dunk, Jan Paul Van Hecke. Not got much height up front. João Pedro does stand at 6'1". It'll be a ball in from Pascal Gross with his right foot. Curling. It's been dropped by the goalkeeper as he's been collided into by his own man. But I think that was through a Lewis Dunk push. So it'll be a free kick for Ajax in the 6-yard box. I think that's what happened. Diant Ramage came to collect the ball. He tried to collect the ball there. And as Lewis Dunk was charging in towards goal, he's just pushed Satalo into his own goalkeeper, which meant the Ajax goalkeeper dropped the ball, and it's a rightly given free kick. As Ansu Fati's pressing up quickly on Satalo and blocks his clearance, it'll be a goal kick for Ajax. Put on the pressure on the Ajax defence, who have lost 3 of their last 5, 2 draws, and those 2 draws both in the Europa League. 3-3 draw to Marseille and a 1-1 draw to AEK Athens away from home. And as I mentioned before, their only other win in this season, bar their qualifying win against Ludogorets away, has come in the opening game of the season in the league against newly promoted side. So it's not been good at all. They've not even beat good opposition, really, Ajax. As they try and play through here with Bergwijn passing the halfway line, met by a strong challenge from Gilmour, but the deflection drops to Broby. In the centre circle for Ajax, Tahirovic shifts it out to the right-hand side to Borges, who keeps it in on the right-hand side, allows the tackle from Milner, and then has to try and win it back himself, but Nod kicks it out of play for a Brighton throw midway inside their own half, which is taken quickly, and it's been thrown back into the 18-yard box here for number 5, Lewis Dunk, who made his England debut in 2018, but now he's made 2 appearances this season to take himself up to 3 England caps. He's played in 2 friendlies against Scotland in September and Australia in October. The 31-year-old centre-half, whose ball out wide towards Matoma is cut out by Guy, but he's lost it here to Milner, and it's down to João Pedro away from the challenge of Kenneth Taylor, but then he's met by Harto, and he's tackled strongly, and it will be a Brighton throw-in midway inside the Ajax half. Good tackle there from Jorel Harto, the number 4 for Ajax at centre-half, 17 years old, made his debut for the club in the Cup in 2023 in January, at the age of 16 years, 10 months and 4 days. Can play left-back as well. As he Dunk just inside his own half here, plays it across to right centre-half Van Hecke. He's got Ansu Fati in the gap there, he plays it in between the lines, and Adingra plays it 1-2 in the box on the right side. He just can't get the touch, so he has to kick it out for a throw-in. Good play there from Simon Adingra. Playing a 1-2 there, I think with Pascal Gross, and instead of conceding the goal kick, he kicked it out of play for a throw-in. So Brighton can stay high up the pitch. As it's Borna Sosa at left-back, throws it down the line, cut out by Adingra, and it returns to Sosa, who clears it up into the sky. Header won by Veltman, back into the sky for Gilmour to head on, and it's now dropped to Fati, who loses out to Tahirovic. And it's now Satalo in a right-back position for Ajax. Clears away beyond the halfway line, cut out by Milner, cleared down the Brighton left, and it's going to be seen out for an Ajax throw-in, with Anton Gay throwing it back here to Josip Satalo, who played 120 minutes against Spain in the summer in the Nations League final, which Croatia lost on penalties to the Spaniards. Playing his 10th game in the Europa League, Satalo made a couple of appearances for Zagreb in the competition as well, scoring once for them against Rapid Vienna in November of 2021 as Ajax play out from the back to left-back Sosa, 10 yards off the halfway line. It's a ball down the left channel by Berghaus, looking for Bergwijn in behind. Van Hecke tries to go back to steal, and it comes off Bergwijn and will drop for a goal kick. Very fortunate there for the Dutch centre-half, as he was looking for Jason Steele. It came off Bergwijn, who'd read the pass, but as he blocked the pass, it just bounced off his knee and away for a goal kick. Couldn't quite chase it down. As Brighton play from the back. Big switch out to Edingra on the right. His chested touch falls to Bergwijn. He goes back to Sosa, who's headed forward. He's cut out there by Edingra. He keeps away from Kenneth Taylor. Midway inside the Ajax half is Pascal Gross. Turns away from Taylor. Good skill from the German international. And into the path of Veltman, who's got forward from right back. Back he goes to Gross again. About 40 yards away from goal here on the Brighton right. Plays it forward towards the edge of the box to João Pedro. Back to goal. Shifts it out to the right to Edingra. He then goes back to Joel Veltman, the former Ajax man. He's now on halfway with Van Hekke, who's played Ajax 3 times previously for Herenveen. Van Hekke and lost on each occasion. Gilmour playing it through into the box to the left-hand side to Mitoma. Just leaves the box, the football, as it was a bit of a heavy pass. He tries to spin Gay again at right back for Ajax, but he deals with it better this time and plays the ball into the box for Satalo, who will clear up the field down the Ajax right. Can't be kept in just inside the Ajax half by Carlos Borges, formerly of Manchester City. The Portuguese international playing his football for the Portugal under-21s. Made his debut in September of this year for the under-21s. As again, no real big opportunity so far. Just over 15 minutes in at the Amex. Milner tries to play ball through and in behind for Mitoma. Doesn't make the run, the Japanese international. And it runs right through to Ajax goalkeeper Ramage. Making his first full senior debut for Ajax. Came off the bench in their last league game against Utrecht as their second choice goalkeeper Gorta was injured late on. Here he is on the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes to his left to Jorel Hato. Forward on the halfway line here to Broby. Tackled strongly by Van Hekke. And it'll be a throw in here midway inside their own half for Ajax. As it'll be left here to be taken by Borna Sosa. Throws it back to Hato. Into the 6-yard box to Ramage. Out to right centre-back Sitalo, who will charge forward from the edge of the 18-yard box and play it to right-back Gay. Goes inside to Tahirovic. Forward to Kenneth Taylor, who lets it run through and past Gilmour. It's now Broby to the right to Berghaus. Forward to Kenneth Taylor, midway inside the Brighton half. They look to play out to the left-hand side, and they go to Sosa, who wants to play forward if possible. That's where he's looking to play. Goes out wide to the left to Berghaus. He then goes back himself to the halfway line to Hato. Goes across to Sutalo. To the right back Gay, back to the Brighton goal, so forced all the way back to his own goalkeeper. Ramage. Across he goes to the left to Hato. Still in the Ajax 18-yard box, into the 6-yard box. Plays it forward to the edge to Tahirovic. And he shifts it to the right to Satalo. Decent play in here from the back for Ajax. Not looking too shaky when playing with the ball at the feet, despite doing a lot of defensive work in the opening 17.5 minutes. As it's Ramage still with Ajax, with their goalkeeper. Out to the right back, Gay. Down the line it goes towards Borges. It's a misplaced ball. It's too high. It's too wayward. And it's a throw in for Brighton on the halfway line. Taken quickly by 37-year-old James Milner. Will turn 38 in January. Made 332 appearances for Liverpool. Won the Champions League in 2019. Reached the Europa League final in 2016 with Liverpool, where they were beaten by Sevilla in May of 2016. And for Milner, it is his 21st successive season playing Premier League football, which is absolutely incredible. He's been at it since such a young age, playing for the likes of Leeds, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Manchester City, Liverpool and Brighton. It's a great set of clubs he played for, James Milner. As it's still Brighton on the ball, all Ajax players behind the ball here, as it's Lewis Dunk on it on halfway. As they try and find a way through this Ajax defence, try and pick up their first 3 points in Europe. It's out to Mitoma, midway inside the Ajax half. He's got Anton Gay with it, tries to play it through towards Ansu Fati. It's been brought back into the play of Mitoma after a poor clearance from Tahirovic, who then intercepts another Mitoma pass. And Ajax can clear the pitch towards their left side where no one's there. And it's the throw in for Brighton on halfway. Doing some decent work in there. Benjamin Tahirovic. Dunk on halfway. Just under 20 minutes in. Again, we're waiting for the first big chance of the game as Dunk's pass forward towards Fati. Falls back to him, but then he's tackled again. Tahirovic doing it well. Cleared up for Brighton. Cleared up for Ajax, looking for Broby. Cut out by Van Hekke. Back into the possession of the team in blue and white. Too easy so far this for Brighton to keep possession, but maybe the plan of Ajax to sit back and counter if possible. As they lose it here with Ansu Fati in midfield. It's now cleared by Sosa for Ajax, looking for Bergwijn, cut out by the chest of Veltman, who has it on halfway. Forced back into his own half to keep possession with Van Hekke. He did play for the Netherlands in the Under-21 European Championship, where they were knocked out in the group stages in the summer. His Matoma has been fed down the left, towards the byline, just about keeps it in towards that corner flag on the far side. Plays the ball inside, looking for the run of Milner in the box. It's cut out here, not cleared though. Milner shoots and saved. He looked towards the far post there, bottom right corner, but it was well saved by 22-year-old goalkeeper Diant Ramage, the German international. There was a ball inside by Matoma. It was cut out by Borges. And then as he played the ball back by Berghuis, his touch gave it to Milner. He then took one touch and a shot, but lacked the conviction from the 37-year-old. And it's now back with Ajax in their 18-yard box with their goalkeeper, Ramage. You might remember, you might have seen in the press 4 games ago when Ajax's game against AZ Alkmaar at home was forced to be finished behind closed doors, where they lost 4-0. And it had to be played from the 55th minute behind closed doors after crowd disturbances, police having to use tear gas to try and deter the fans from their rage and anger that they were throwing in the stadium, damaging the ground. Clearly frustrated the Ajax supporters, and you can understand having such a bad start to the season. It's their lowest they have ever been in the Eredivisie, ever, sitting 17th at the minute. It's their worst start after 7 games, 5 points. Their worst ever after 6 played was they had 7 points from 6 in the 64-65 season. So you can see how Ajax are just not used to this kind of form at all. It's a real anomaly in their history as a football club, not usually struggling this badly. As Adingra crossed to the edge of the 18-yard box, cut out by Hato, but it drops back to Adingra. He plays it out to the left of Matoma on the edge of the 18-yard box, cut onto his right foot. He wants to shoot, he overruns his touch, and he fouls Berghuis as he got there ahead of him. Wanted to pull the trigger there, Matoma, as he's booked there for the late challenge. Wanted to shoot, hesitated the first time, and that hesitation on the first shot meant his touch was heavy, and Berghuis just nipped in front of him to get the ball, and then to try and regain the ball back, Matoma just went a bit heavy on him. Yeah, studs on the right, top of the foot. It's a painful one. And it's a yellow card for the Japanese international, first card of the game, given out by Bartosz Frankowski, Polish referee tonight. A draw tonight for Brighton would keep them bottom of the table. They'd be on 2 points. Ajax would go on to 3 points in third. AEK Athens would be second on 4 points and Marseille on fifth. So it's a very close group so far. And if Brighton can get a win and get up to 4 points, put them up to third, I think, on head-to-head. But they'd be on the same points as second place AEK Athens. They'd be 1 point behind top dogs Marseille. So a win would be crucial tonight for Brighton, as Ajax have already lost possession from that free kick. But Steven Berghuis, the oldest player on the pitch for Ajax, 31 years of age, is back to his feet after that late challenge from Kaoru Mitoma. Formerly of Watford, Steven Berghuis, 2 years, only made 9 Premier League appearances and didn't score a single goal. But he's made more of a name for himself in his homeland, the Netherlands. As to hear of it, Satalo there with a strong challenge on, I think that was Mitoma, but it's back with Brighton again. About 10 yards inside the Ajax half with Lewis Dunk, but all Ajax men behind the ball. It's a serious defence. It's seriously a defensive setup here from the Dutch side, who just do not want to concede. They've conceded 16 goals in the league so far this season. Only the one clean sheet, and that was a 0-0 draw against Fortuna Sittard. As Ansu Fati, commits the foul there on an Ajax man. So it'll be a foul for the Ajax. For this Ajax team, who have won 4 Champions Leagues in their history. The last came in 1995. They won 3 UEFA Super Cups as well in 72, 73 and 95. And just the 36 top-tier league titles for them as well. As Bergwijn has it here on the halfway line. Shifts out to the right-hand side. Here's a Gay. He's got Borges ahead of him to his right. And he'll feed it to the Portuguese man in the final third here. Playing it to the edge of the box to Berghuis. On the corner of the box here on the right. Plays it through to the run of Gay, who gets the ball across into the midriff of Jason Steele. Well collected by the goalkeeper as he was looking for Brian Broby. in the box there. The Ajax striker is JC Steele. Oh, he distributes out to the left to Mitoma, who brings it down beautifully, charging down on goal, playing it through into the box, looking for João Pedro, who's been brought down. No foul, says the referee. The Polish referee says that it was a barge from the shoulder. So no penalty given to João Pedro. But that was a good counter-attack. Great distribution from JC Steele to find Mitoma on the halfway line on Brighton's left on the far side. And it was a nice little neat ball in behind into the box for João Pedro, which was out-muscled there by Jarell Hato. And it's Ajax now possession in their left-back area with Sosa, who gives it away to Billy Gilmour. Forward to João Pedro, out wide right to Adingra. He's got the overlap of Veltman in the final third. He'll use Billy Gilmour instead, who'll go to the left to Pascal Gross. Forward to Pedro. 22 yards from goal, he's shoved to the ground, and this time he'll win the free kick. Third time a charm for João Pedro. It's the third time he's gone down, and it's the first time he's won a foul. Good ball forward by Pascal Gross to find the Brazilian. And just from behind, Jarell Hato committed the foul. Went through the back of the Brazilian for Brighton. There's a free kick here in a dangerous position for the Seagulls. See just whereabouts this free kick is going to be taken from. If you are new, make sure you like and subscribe. Next commentary is on Monday night, where Coventry welcome the travelling squad of Brighton. About 22 yards out, just to the right of the centre of the pitch. So if you were to draw a line down the centre of the goal and pull it all the way back, it's just to the right. So a little bit of an angle here for Lewis Dunk, the captain who stood over it. This would really raise the roof if this goes in. Lewis Dunk from around 22 yards out. Can he finish it for Brighton? He hits the wall and it will deflect out for a corner. Trying to go for almost a David Luiz technique there, Lewis Dunk. Try to get a bit of dip and movement on the ball. But it hit the top of the Ajax wall. I think it came off Josip Sitalo. And it'll be a corner for Brighton. On the far side here, so it'll be a right-footed in-swinger from Pascal Gross. Can he provide another wicked cross here? Pascal Gross, in-swinger, far post towards Lewis Dunk, who will head it back inside. Van Hecke loses out, drops here in the end, and it is over the bar by Adingra. Unfortunate there from the Ivorian winger for Brighton. Decent set piece from Gross to find Dunk at the far post. Headed it back inside towards Van Hecke. He lost out the header, but it dropped into the box for Adingra, who was always just... Was he leaning back there slightly? Yeah, just leant back ever so slightly, and the ball cannoned over the crossbar. And Ajax play out from the back here with Tahirovic. Back into their goalkeeper, Ramage. Been closed down here by Ansu Fati. Just about clears it in time down the Ajax left. Helped on by Kenneth Taylor. And it will drop down the line here for Steven Bergwijn. Midway inside the Brighton half. He plays it backwards towards halfway to Sosa. Inside to Tahirovic. Forward it goes to Bergwijn. Goes to his right here to Berghaus. And then back to halfway to Sitalo. Forward and out wide right here to Gay. The right back. It's now Brighton, who have all men behind the ball, probably for the first time in the game. It's Kenneth Taylor looking towards the Ajax left-hand side, and he'll find the left-back Sosa. And he'll go back into his own half here with Hato. Not got many options, so he's been forced to his left-back Sosa, who will then go back once more to the edge of the 18-yard box to Ramage, the goalkeeper. Good pressing here from Brighton, forcing Ajax so far back. Clears it long up the field, down the Ajax right, looking for Borges. He loses out to Milner with the header. Mitoma helps it onto the halfway line. Kicks forward by Tahirovic. Then over the head of Milner. Borges will give chase, but Milner will get that first, and he'll play a pass back to Jason Steele. And Brighton can restart from the back on their edge of the 18-yard box with Van Hecke. Forward midway side into their own half with Billy Gilmour, who did score in the recent international break for Scotland in a friendly loss to France. There's Van Hecke forward to João Pedro, back heels and in behind, looking for the run of Adingra, but it's just too heavy and it'll run through to Ajax and their goalkeeper. Well, they were in the Champions League last season. Ajax finished third on 6 points in a group with Napoli, Liverpool and Rangers. Both their wins did come to Rangers. Home 4-0 win and a 3-1 away win. And they dropped to the Europa League, where they got to the playoff round, but were beaten by Union Berlin 0-0 at home in the first leg, and then lost 3-1 away in the second leg. They also lost the cup final last season to PSV, 4-3 on penalties. Also lost the Super Cup final at the start of last season to PSV 5-3. So just had a lot of disappointment and failure at Ajax last season, and it's tumbled over into this new campaign as well. As they still have it with Ramage, the goalkeeper, who gets a short pass back by Hato, and João Pedro intercepts. And it's a goal kick for Ajax, but really poor pass back there from the 17-year-old centre-back. And by the way, he is 17 years old, Jarel Hato, but he does not look 17. He looks a little bit older than that. He's got the build of 5'11", but I'm thinking he might be just a tiny little bit taller than that. He just currently plays for the under-21s of the Netherlands. As the ball's dropped here to Borges, loses out to Dunk just inside the Brighton half. It's now Van Hecke forward into the centre circle with Pascal Gross. Out to the left it goes here now to number 31, Ansu Fati. What magic can he bring? He's got Matoma to his left, edge of the box. He decides to strike himself, and it's very far wide, and I'm not quite sure what he was going for there. Didn't really get his foot around the ball to curl it back in to look for the top right corner. It was just a straight shot that ballooned wide, and it's a goal kick for Ajax. Again, over half an hour in, we've just not had any clear-cut chances, to be completely honest. We've just had a lot of Brighton possession, and we've had 58% of it. We've had Brighton attempts, but none that have really worried the goalkeeper. As a free kick here for Ajax just on the edge of the centre circle, as Jean-Paul Van Hecke picks up a booking here. It's Brighton's second booking already tonight. A long ball was played forward, and Van Hecke was a little bit too physical there on Brian Broby. As the ball went over his head and Broby's head, he tried to spin him there, Broby, but Van Hecke just held him and was not letting him go and get beyond him. So it'll be a yellow card. It's probably the right decision, even though Van Hecke is a little bit annoyed with the referee's decision, but you can't grab someone like that and stop them from getting in behind just because they've turned you. So 2 bookings for Brighton. As they just don't want to get frustrated here, the De Zerbi's men, because they're keeping the ball nicely, and they are starting to open a few gaps up, using João Pedro up front as a bit of a target man. But Ajax have it here with their left-back Sosa, 15 yards into the Brighton half. Back it goes into the Ajax half with a pass to Hato. Across to his centre-back partner, Satalo. Now with the goalkeeper again. He must have had the most touches for Ajax, the goalkeeper. He's probably been on the ball the most. He sends it to the left-back Sosa, midway side, the Ajax half. Back he goes to Hato. Being chased down here by Pedro, plays it forward to Sosa. And he goes forward once more towards Brian Broby, who's holding it up against Van Hecke. And the free kick goes against Brian Broby this time with a shove into the front of Van Hecke. So this time it goes in the favour of the Brighton centre-back, Broby. The Ajax striker this time being a bit too physical as the ball was played forward by Sosa just inside to the Brighton half. Yeah, just a little hit out with the right arm there from Brian Broby. I'm smashing these commentaries like the way you're mixing them up. Come on, Brighton. Thank you very much. Yep, just try to cover as many competitions as possible, as many different teams as possible, as Bergwijn on the edge of the 18-yard box heads away for Brighton. Helped back forward by Dunk as he volleys it out wide left to Matoma. Chests it into Fati. Completes a 1-2. Matoma tries to replay the favour, but it's cut out here by Ajax, and they need to clear it in their own box here. Takes a touch Ramage and then clears with his left foot, the Ajax goalkeeper. Down the Ajax left, then it'll be seen out for a Brighton throw-in midway inside their own half here by Lewis Dunk. As Brighton have had 7 shots, just the 1 on target though so far. Ajax have had the 1 shot and it was off target. There's not much really going on in this game. 2 on target, sorry, for Brighton, not 1. 7 shots, 2 on target. If you are new, if you could like subscribe at half-time, I'll go through the upcoming commentaries we've got on the channel. As João Pedro's heavy touch gives it to Bergwijn. It's now back to the edge of the 18-yard box for Sosa, the Ajax left back. It's back with their own goalkeeper here. Ramage out to the left back Sosa, being pressed here by Adingra. Kenneth Taylor at left back, the central midfielder. Cleared forward by Hato. Up towards the halfway line to Broby, who wins the header but can't find a Ajax shirt, and it's headed back by Van Hecke into right back Veltman. 31 years of age. The Dutch right back who's can play both sides. Signed an extension in the summer. A 2-year contract till 2025. Joel Veltman. This is Dunk on halfway for Brighton. Again, all Ajax men behind the ball. It's Dunk who still has it. Looking for options. Wanting to play forward. but he's been played across to Van Hecke. Now forward to Gross. Gilmour, 1-2 with Matoma, met by a strong challenge from Kenneth Taylor, and the tackle drops to Borges, who's quickly outmuscled in the centre circle by Milner, and it's back in Brighton possession here. Pascal Gross on the edge of the centre circle in the Ajax half. Wants to go out to the left-hand side. He will do so with Milner, midway inside the Ajax half. Mitoma. Inside to Gross. 50 yards away from goal, so still some building to do here for Brighton on the ball. Gross chopping away from the pressure here of Berghaus. It's now been left here with Van Hecke. He's got some options to the right. Idingra's coming a bit closer to him as an option, but he goes to his left to Dunk instead. Fatty's come short and he will receive the ball and play it wide to Mitoma. In the final third here, drives on his inside for the right foot, wanting to find the pass. He'll play a low pass into the box to Idingra. On the edge of the box, he goes backwards to Veltman. He wants to go forward, but he's been forced out to the right-hand side to Idingra, tackled by Sosa. And the tackle drops to Veltman, so Brighton still have possession over 35 minutes in. This first half has flown by so far, as we've lacked any big chances so far. Veltman. What options has he got in the centre circle here? Milner's making a run far left. He goes forward in front of him to Gilmour. And here's Mitoma, who's travelled out to the right-hand side here for Brighton. Plays it through. In this behind. Onside. João Pedro. He's saved down low to his left. Good goalkeeping. It was down to his right. João Pedro's left. Good save there by Ramage. That's the first big chance of the game. Mitoma working his magic. Drifting from the left-hand side. Coming over to the right-hand side. Trying to unlock this Ajax defence, and he did that with a nice ball in behind. He was onside and on the angle. João Pedro hit it across goal like any good striker does, but he was well saved down low to his right. Ramage as the ball outswinger goes in towards Dunk on the penalty spot. Header won in the end by an Ajax man, but it will drop to Milner. And he will clip the ball in towards Gross, and it comes off the Brighton man last as Ramage, the goalkeeper, came for it, and he fumbled it straight into the back of Gross. And then it deflected for a goal kick. So we actually got quite lucky there. The Ajax goalkeeper, number 40, after making an impressive save a minute ago on João Pedro, who has scored 3 goals so far in the Europa League. For Brighton, all of them from the spot. He got 2 against AEK Athens in the opening game for Brighton, then 1 away at Marseille. Very late on, actually, the one at Marseille. Scored it in the 88th minute. After they went 2-0 down against Marseille. Brighton in 20 minutes. Ball played out here to Pascal Gross towards the byline. Will he keep it in? He will, with a first time cross towards the near post. Cleared away by Harto. Not convincing though. Kept alive by Veltman. He's now back inside now to Gilmour. 30 yards from goal. He's looking out to the Brighton left. He'll play forward instead to Fatty. João Pedro, edge of the box. Tries to play a ball through towards Fatty. Cut out and cleared by Ajax. But again, it will just be recycled by Brighton. They'll come again. Got a let's go Ajax in the chat. I've got a bit of a mix of supporters here as Ansu Fati has it on the Brighton left. Tries to play it through and behind for Mitoma. Cut out by Gay. He drives inside here for Ajax and plays it forward to Broby. Now out to the right to Berghaus. On the halfway line, there's Borges, who had a scintillating season for Manchester City's under-21s, the Portuguese man. Only 19 years of age. Scored 29 goals in 33 under-21 appearances for Manchester City. And he's got the 1 goal so far for Ajax's new club. Against Marseille, where he assisted as well against Marseille in that 3-3 draw in game week 1 for Ajax. Ajax are struggling going forward here, but they're defending decently. Berghaus down the right channel for Ajax in the final third. It's Gay, the right back. He'll try and cross it. Comes off Milner, and then I thought that came back off Gay, the right back, but Milner got the last touch, and it'll be a corner for Ajax on the far side. I really thought that came off the right back last, Anton Gay. But the linesman on that far side gave the corner, and it would be a real shock here if Ajax went to take the lead, because they've done nothing with an attacking threat so far. As it's a gliding ball to the edge of the box was Kenneth Taylor, cut out by Idingra, who will give chase to his own header, where Gay recycles it back in the box for Ajax, but no one's there to chase it. Caught by Jason Steele, who wants a big kick quickly, and he takes that big kick out towards Mitoma on the left, but he'll drop out of play for an Ajax throw-in inside their own half. Love your energy, bro. Thank you very much. I love that compliment. Thank you. It's a real passion of mine commentating, so the energy is just natural. Even though this game hasn't really been too entertaining so far, to be completely honest. We've had the João Pedro chance in the 35th minute where he was well saved by Ramage. But other than that, Brighton have had shots on goal, but nothing to really write home about so far. As other Europa League games, we'll have a look at some of the other fixtures. West Ham lost in the earlier kickoff. To Olympiacos away from home. Aston Villa won 4-1. Very good game. That's an upcoming commentary, that. Aston Villa at home to AZ Alkmaar. I'll let you know when that one is. Liverpool currently lead Toulouse 3-1. And interestingly enough, one of Ajax's new signings, which I'll let you know about in a minute, here's Pascal Gross, 20 yards away from goal on the Brighton left, lays it off to Mitoma. He's got the overlap of Milner, goes for the right-hand side, his right foot chance instead. His pass cut out, though, by Tahirovic, which has been brought back into play by Milner. João Pedro can't help the flick on. Broby tackled wrongly by Milner, cleared by Sosa, who looks for Borges on the right as Milner was out of position, but Dunk sweeps up and clears away for Brighton as they keep possession in the centre circle with Billy Gilmour. Out to the right it goes to Veltman. About 10 yards into the Ajax half. That pass has gone forward to Pascal Gross. Forward to the edge of the box to João Pedro, who's been forced out wide here by Hato. But he drives back inside and lays it off to Gross. Out wide to Adingra. Back it goes to Veltman. Ajax defending very solidly here. Dunk. Out to Milner on the left. Here's Mitoma, one-on-one with Gay. Quite far away from goal, though, still here, Brighton. With Milner on the ball. I do apologise for the noise. As Van Hecke has it. As Dunk has it. And it's Van Hecke just in front of the centre circle here for Brighton. In the Ajax half, it's pretty much where all the play's been for the opening 41 minutes of this game, all in the Ajax half. Brighton are just struggling to break down the defence, but they're being patient though, which is a good quality to have. Got to remember, Brighton haven't won in their last 5 in all competitions, so they don't have that winning feeling, and they haven't for a while. As I mentioned in the pre-match build up, their last win came in late September at home to Bournemouth, who haven't been a great side themselves this season. But they have lost away from home in those 5 to the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea as well. Aston Villa was a big thumping 4 games ago, 6-1, that one. As Mitoma enters the box, right-footed shot, parried by the goalkeeper, and the rebound's in. It's 4-3 for João Pedro, and it's his first goal from open play in this year's competition. You felt it was only a matter of time before Brighton got the first goal of this game. It's the Brazilian, it's their new number 9, João Pedro, with an easy finish on the rebound. As I mentioned before, it's been all Brighton, all in the Ajax half. Dunk played a pass forward to Mitoma on the edge. He cut his hand onto his right foot, had a shot towards the far post. It was saved by Ramage. And instead of being able to tip it away from the danger, he parried it straight forward into the onrushing João Pedro. And his eyes lit up as from 6 yards out, he pretty much had an empty goal to strike into. Patience has been key, but Brighton's persistence has paid off. And at the Amex, just before half-time, it's Brighton 1, Ajax 0. Really good for João Pedro. As I mentioned, 4-3 now in the Europa League. His previous 3 had been from 12 yards, but that one from 6 yards into an empty net. Good following up though, good striking play, trying to feed on the rebounds of your teammates' shots. And Ajax, who have not won a game in 8, look like they're going to go 0 wins in 9. It's really worrying for such a historic European team, as it's Brighton, who are already back in possession. Fatty hasn't done anything. Well, no, Fatty I think has been okay for Brighton. He scored twice in the Premier League in 2 away defeats. He scored the consolation goal away at Aston Villa in that 6-1 defeat, and at Manchester City at the weekend. But tonight he has been slightly quiet, I must admit. But it is only 2 wins so far this season for Ajax in their opening 11 games in all competitions. One on the opening day of the season and then one in Europa League qualifying against Ludogorets. Brighton are looking to win this game. If they win this game, it'd be 50% record for wins this season in all competitions for Brighton. So far, they've played 11, won 5, drew 2 and lost 4. Yet to keep a clean sheet as well this season, Brighton in all competitions, and that could change because Ajax don't look too dangerous. They've done nothing this first 45 minutes. Let's go Brighton. So we've got a Brighton fan in the chat. Very good goal, really, because Dunk coming out from the back is what he does, finding Mitoma. And Mitoma, again, coming in from the left, just driving inside to get the shot on the right foot, his stronger foot. And even though he didn't find the net, the shot was too powerful, and the goalkeeper could only parry it straight into the path of João Pedro, who finished into an empty goal. As on the 45th minute mark, the referee blows for half-time. Shows how little has happened really in the game. No additional time at the end of the first 45 minutes. Brighton do lead. It has been a half where we have lacked big chances. It has been nothing but Brighton possession. They have had 60% of it. They have had 9 shots. 4 of them on target. Despite having so many shots, we've not had too many huge chances. One of the big chances came in the 20th minute as Mitoma had a pullback. And in the end, Borges, the Ajax winger, couldn't clear the ball and it dropped to Milner, who shot towards the far corner, but it was easily saved by Ramage. There was another close opportunity when Lewis Dunk's caught free kick went out for a corner, and from that corner, it was put into the far post where Dunk helped it back in to the 18-yard box where it missed the head of Van Hecker, but it dropped to Edingra, the winger, who struck over the crossbar. Another good save from Ramage. Mitoma switched the ball to the right side and played a through ball in behind for João Pedro. He had the shot across goal, but Ramage got down low to his right to save well. And then on the 42nd minute, João Pedro scores for Brighton. It's his 4th goal in the Europa League for João Pedro. It's his 6th for Brighton in his 13th game so far for the club. And as you can hear me saying, I am saying Brighton chances only. Ajax have done absolutely nothing going forward. They have been able to work themselves one shot, but that one shot was off target. And at half-time, at the Amex, it is Brighton 1, Ajax 0. And I mean, despite the fact that this is an Ajax team who are in turmoil, that are, struggling's not even the word. They are, for the size of and the stature of their club, they are struggling so badly. That shouldn't really take light off how big of a scalp this would still be for Brighton. Like, this is still a huge win if they win tonight against such a huge European club. Like, take away form from Ajax this season so far, they're still a huge, giant club in Europe and in the world. So the fact that they can tick that off and say that they've beaten Ajax in Europe, that's huge for a club like Brighton. And back-to-back seasons for Brighton, they've finished the highest they ever have in England's top flight leagues. Finished 9th in the 21-22 season under Graham Potter, then obviously finished 6th last season to get themselves in the Europa League. And obviously it's their first season this year in the Europa League for Brighton. You can remember as well, not even that long ago, in the 2018-2019 season, Brighton finished 2 points off relegation. They were 2 points above Cardiff, who finished 18th that year. And then, over 4 years later, they're now in the Europa League after finishing 6th, and they're currently beating Ajax at home. It's a great fairy tale story for Brighton, and I wish them all the best in this year's Europa League. After a bit of a shaky start, losing their first home game and their first ever game in Europe to AEK Athens 3-2, and they only scored twice, and those were both through penalties through João Pedro. I did watch their second game against Marseille, and they showed great character to come back, because when they went 2-0 down against Marseille, they went 2-0 down within 2 minutes. Mbemba, formerly of Newcastle, centre-back, scored in the 19th minute, and then Veretout scored in the 20th. So they literally conceded 2 in 2 minutes. And it was looking a little bit ropey. It was looking like Marseille could run away with it. But then a goal from Pascal Gross in the 54th minute, and then João Pedro late on in the 88th minute meant that they came away with a point to keep themselves in the group, and now they're pushing on even further with 4 points, because if they do win this game, they'd go on 4 points. Like Athens in second would be on 4 points, and then Marseille in top would be on 5. So that top spot for Brighton to avoid the knockout playoff round and go straight to the round 16 is possible, definitely. And they don't just want to win so they get their first win in Europe, because obviously Brighton want their first win in Europe, but the fact that they are 5 games without a win, I don't think any Brighton fans would be worrying, because in the league they still sit 7th with 16 points. But you just don't want that to run on for too long. You don't want to go 5 without a win, then 6, then thinking, when is this win coming? And then 7, 8, 9. So a bit like what Ajax has happened. I bet the Ajax supporters are like, 3 losses, okay, 4 without a win, bit worrying, 5, what's going on? And now they're on 8 without a win, and now currently if this game ends the way it is, there'll be 9 without a win. That's when you start panicking and sacking managers like they did with Murray Stein. So just nice for Brighton just to get that win. And as I mentioned before, they've got some nicer fixtures coming up in the Premier League. I mentioned it before, but I'll just run through them again if you weren't here. The next 4 are not against the modern usual top 6. They've got Fulham at home, Everton away, Sheffield United at home, and Forest away. So some nice fixtures. They've also got Ajax sandwiched in the middle there. They face Ajax away in their next Europa League game on the 9th of November, coming up in a couple of weeks' time. But I'm just going to go through the commentaries we have coming up on the channel. Some may be subject to change, but this is the plan and the schedule. But if you want to subscribe with notifications on, then you'll know when I go live and what games I'm doing, because I usually schedule the commentaries a few days before, so you know which ones are coming up, a few days before they happen. So the next one is Coventry against West Brom on Monday night. That's the 30th of October. Then in that week, on the Wednesday, on the 1st of November, we will be doing Manchester United taking on Newcastle in the League Cup 4th round. And then on next weekend, not this weekend, the weekend after, we have a double header. This might change, but I'm not sure yet. So this is where you just got to hold on. I'll definitely be doing Arsenal women against Manchester City women on the 5th of November. And we might also be doing Luton Liverpool on the same day. We might do 2 in one day, but we'll wait and see. But I'm definitely covering Arsenal women against Manchester City women. It'll be the first commentary on the channel with women's football, which is exciting. And then we'd have Aston Villa against AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League. Aston Villa just beat Alkmaar tonight 4-1 away from home, so that could be an interesting one. Then we've got Bournemouth Newcastle on the 11th of November, Manchester United women against Manchester City women on the 19th of November, and then we have Barnet Oldham on the 22nd in the National League, and then Brentford Arsenal on the 25th. So that gives you the next month's worth of commentaries. Again, could change some of them, so make sure you subscribe and notifications on so you know which ones are going to happen and which ones aren't. So that's the little run through we have for the month, for the end of October and the start and all the way through of November. But it really is worrying for Ajax. 7 games played in the league. 1 win, 2 draws, 4 losses. Again, it was absolute heartbreak at the weekend for them. As well, away from home against Utrecht, 4-3 loss. They went 3-2 up as well in the 65th minute through Steven Bergwijn, and then conceded in the 71st minute, and then the 90th. It's just 90th minute loss. I mean, it's not. It wouldn't have been. The best result they would have got is a draw, but even a draw at that point, would be better than a loss 90th minute. The Ajax supporters must have been absolutely fuming. But what I thought was quite strange. I don't know if he's, they obviously just don't trust him. They've gone for experience, which is crazy because they just don't have a lot of experience, this Ajax side, at all. I went through the age of the team before the game, but I'm going to go through it again. This is from the goalkeeper down. So it's 22, 20, 23, 17, 25, 20, 21, 31, 19, 21, 26. Very, very young side. But Christian Linson a attacking midfielder from Iceland, 19 years of age. He's got 4 goals in 5 for Ajax at the club. He's got 2 against Utrecht in their last league game. I mean, I know he's 19 and he's a midfield, and he's 19 years old, but Ajax are really struggling, and the players that are playing now have played all of these games where they've struggled, and it's like a youngster like Christian Linson for them scores twice in a 4-3 loss. Like, throw him in tonight, put him in. He's high on confidence, even though as a club they're not. He will be high on confidence through scoring twice, and then he's back on the bench. Give him a chance, just throw him in. No, you can't. At this point, Ajax cannot lose. They can lose because the fans have already turned, but I think the fans could turn even more. But can it get worse? It just can't. This is the worst state they've ever been in. It's getting to a point for me where just try different players who were in the under-21s, who are going to be confident because they're thinking, right, I've got a chance here to prove myself. That's what I mean, because it's like the youngsters will see it. The under-21s, the skillful ones, the ones who can actually maybe make it, and they might not have been playing in these games, and they'll be like, if I can prove myself and turn things around a little bit, like that Linson did, they'll be thinking, I've got to perform. I can get in the team here. Like, the youngsters for Ajax, they won't see a better chance to get in the team. Do you know what I mean? Like, when first teams are doing well, the youngsters, it's harder for them to get minutes because the senior players are doing the work. But when the senior players are dropping off like they are and playing rubbish, I'd give some youngsters more of a chance, like from the under-21s who haven't been a part of this mess of a start of the season. Brighton win makes this group very challenging. It makes it interesting as well. Very interesting. Thank you for subscribing as well. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed tonight as well. Massive thank you to all of you. Ajax, 17th in the Eredivisie. It's actually it's hard to see. It really is. And you know what? It's not funny. But it is quite funny. But Ajax's next game at the weekend is PSV away, who beat them in the Super Cup final last year at the start of the season, beat them in the Cup final last year, and they sit first currently at the minute, PSV. So they've got to travel to top of the league away from home. It's not nice, is it? It's really not nice for Ajax, and you just feel... And as well, let's remember this, they lose tonight, or they don't win tonight, sorry. That's 9 games in all competitions without a win. Then they go to top of the league away from home. They could go 10 without a win in a row in all competitions. Scary, very scary times for Ajax, and it's just going from bad to worse because they are not doing great tonight. They were doing okay defensively, but it's all good shutting them out for a certain amount of time. But at some point, when you're 8 without a win, your defense is going to break at some point, and it has very early on. And as well, which it could either be a good thing or a bad thing for Ajax. After playing PSV at the weekend, top of the league, coming up, they then play Volendam. I think that's how you say it. Volendam at home. They're 18th. They're bottom. So they do play top away, and then they play bottom at home. If they get beat by bottom in the league at home, that's when you start worrying and things. Because in my mind, I just presume Ajax, they'll turn it around. I mean, I'm not saying like they'll go on and win the league this season, but they're not going to get relegated. But if they get beat to bottom of the league, you start asking the questions of how does it turn around? Who do you even bring in to try and change it? Like I mentioned earlier on in the week, they sacked their manager Maurice Stein, who only came in the summer, and caretaker manager Edviges Maduro comes in, 38 years old, and he might be thinking, if I can turn it around, I might get myself a job. But obviously, nothing's really changed at the minute as they trail 1-0 to Brighton. As the second half will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time because we had no added on time. Because there was not many stoppages. It was just all Brighton possession. The ball very rarely went out of play. And the only real stoppage was the goal. So maybe he could have added a minute on, but it didn't really make a difference in the end. Oh yeah, I was going to mention as well, Liverpool lead 1-0 against Toulouse at home in the Europa League. And one of Ajax's new signings... no, it wasn't one of Ajax's new signings. No, it was one of their new signings. I lie. Branko van den Boomen, what a name, by the way. He's on the bench tonight for Ajax. He joined on a free in the summer from Toulouse, who are obviously in the Europa League. And obviously I do research on him just to know me facts about him. And Toulouse are in the Europa League through winning the French Cup last year, which I didn't know. So I found that quite interesting, because I was thinking, how are Toulouse in the Europa League? Like, they must have had a good year last year in the league. In the league, they finished 13th, but through winning the French Cup, they were able to get into the Europa League, which I thought was quite cool. So yeah, Liverpool lead Toulouse. No other British sides playing in the Europa League. Let's have a look at the Conference League. I think Aberdeen will be playing in the Conference League. They are 0-0 with PAOK, the Greek team, I believe. Any other English sides or British sides? No. Read my mind, speak of the devil. Wow. It's almost like research helps me understand these players more. So number 11, Carlos Borges, signed from Manchester City in the summer, just didn't quite have the effect at all. He's going to be replaced by number 38, Christian Linson, who I was talking about before. He scored a brace at the weekend in their 4-3 defeat to Utrecht. So, as I was mentioning, giving the youngsters who haven't really been involved in this mess of a start for Ajax, let them go and play their football and play with a bit of freedom. And they're going to give 45 minutes to Christian Linson, Icelandic player, born in Denmark. He's got 4 goals in 5 for Ajax. 2 of them came in the Cup a couple of seasons ago, and then he got 2 at the weekend as well. As we do start kick-off once again, with Ajax kicking left to right, Brighton right to left. It'll be Ajax to start with the ball, with their goalkeeper Ramage, who hoofs it up the field towards the left-hand side, towards Bergwijn, who keeps it in, but it's only won back by Brighton by Adingra. He loses out here to Kenneth Taylor, and back he goes to Ramage, the Ajax goalkeeper. Ball down the line for Ajax. Back heel by Berghuis, and he finds the run of Linson on the Ajax right. In the final third here, he's one-on-one with Gilmour. Plays it down the line to Berghuis towards the byline. Chops onto his left foot. Ball goes across, and the cross got slowed down through a block from Milner, and it went right through to Jason Steele. Quick start, though, there for Ajax. It's a long season left to play. I'm sure they will stay in the league, but it's not their season. But I'm just saying, though, if they lose to PSV and lose to bottom of the league, or don't win against bottom of the league, that's the question. I'm not saying they will get relegated, because they probably won't, but who knows? No one thought Leicester would win the league in 2016, and they did. So, who knows? But I doubt they will. I'm just trying to, be dramatic for no reason. It is. It's not Ajax's new manager, really. It's caretaker. Formerly of, I've mentioned it before, he was an Ajax player for 9 years. Edviges Maduro, who's in caretaker charge of Ajax. So we're back underway for the second half at the Amex. It's on halfway line with Van Hecker. Forward to Gilmour, midway inside the Ajax half. He's looking out left, and he will find Milner. It's now with Matoma, whose shot, which was saved by the goalkeeper, was put in by João Pedro. As he tries to take it down the byline here, overruns it, and it can be seen out by Gay. Good defending there from the Ajax right back. Matoma try to go around the outside of him, try to do him for pace. But Anton Gay, the right back, signed from Viborg in the summer for Ajax, sees out for a goal kick. And Ramage for Ajax clears towards the halfway line, where Broby can't beat Dunk to it. His Dunk has been forced back here through the press of Berghuis to Milner. Across it goes by Milner to Van Hecker on the edge of the 18-yard box. There's no press there from Ajax at all. Berghuis went up for the press, and just no one followed him, so Brighton can bring it forward up towards the halfway line now with Pascal Gross. Leaves it for Van Hecker here in the centre circle. All Ajax players currently parked behind the football. Who do you think will make out of Group B in the end? That's a tough question. That's really tough. I'll go Brighton and Marseille, because Marseille won earlier tonight against Ajax Athens, who beat Brighton 3-2 away. So I just feel like Marseille clearly have the quality to proceed. And I think Brighton now they've had a couple games in Europe, they've all got a bit of experience, they kind of understand what they're playing now. I think they'll go through as well, and I think it'll be Ajax 4th, Ajax Athens 3rd. We'll go Brighton top and Marseille will go 2nd. As it's Matoma on the left-hand side for Brighton, on the edge of the box, goes across here to Gross. Chops onto his right foot, been forced back to Dunk, midway inside the Ajax half, out to the left side now to Milner. Replays it into Dunk. It's now the little Scottish magician Billy Gilmour, who we know is really good on the ball and he can find a good pass. Yet to score though for Brighton so far as Gross tries to slip Matoma into the box and it's nearly fell into the Japanese's feet, but just about missed it there. Good defending again from Gay, the right back, who just stopped the ball from going through to Matoma. Actually got a touch onto it there, Gay. Really key touch from the Ajax right back as Ramage, the goalkeeper, clears up the field down the Ajax left, brought down there by Veltman, but he can't get it to a Brighton shirt. Bergwijn inside to Taylor on the right. 30 yards from goal, plays it out to the right-hand side to Berghuis. He's got the overlap of Gay, and he'll play it to the right back in the box. Byline pulls it back, and it's cleared by Gilmour. Throw in though for Ajax on this near side. They need to do more of that. Marseille 1st, Brighton 2nd, Athens 3rd. So we've just got Brighton and Ajax swapped. Yeah, I think that'll be a wrap. But then you don't sleep on Athens. Athens obviously beating Brighton, the Amex 3-2, but they did draw at home to Ajax. So I think it will be Brighton and Marseille to go through. But if they finish 2nd, Brighton, they will have to go through the playoff round, which is pretty much the round of 32, where the 3rd place teams from the Champions League come into the competition. As it's Tahirovic for Ajax. Completes a 1-2 with Taylor. Just beyond the halfway line now with a switch out to Bergwijn. Great ball out. He lets it bounce though when it goes for a throw-in for Brighton. Bergwijn needed to go towards that and meet it and bring it down with a nice touch, but he let it bounce and it just zipped off the turf and he couldn't control it. And 5.5 minutes into the second half, no real big opportunities. Matoma's come close, causing some havoc down the Brighton left, but nothing really to write home about. Ajax got forward once, but the pullback from Gay, the right back, wasn't good enough. Milner forced back here to Jason Steele. Linson will chase it, the substitute for Ajax, but Steele will be allowed to clear it down the Brighton right. A header won though in the end here by Taylor for Ajax. He's been forced backwards here to his goalkeeper, Ramage. Good pressing there from Simon Adingra for Brighton, who spent last season on loan to Saint Gillois in Belgium, where they got to the quarterfinals of the Conference League, I think. Or the Europa League, sorry. Yeah, Saint Gillois in Belgium. I think that's how you say the team's name. I'm happy with finishing 2nd as long as we don't face someone from Newcastle. Well, that's a great point. Very good point, because whoever finishes 3rd in that group will go into the playoff rounds in the Europa League. You know, I don't think PSG will go down. I think they'll be okay. 2 wins out of the first 3. But Newcastle, AC Milan and Dortmund, that's all open. 2nd and 3rd spots in that group. I think 1st would be De Zerbi's aim for sure. He'll definitely want... It's less games as well, isn't it? If you finish top of the group. That's Gilmour now on halfway for Brighton. Looks to the right-hand side and finds Adingra. He's got Veltman on the overlap in the final third. Chops inside instead. Then pokes it through to Fati, who gets the shot away! And Fati scores for Brighton. He scored at the weekend away at Manchester City. And he's now got his first goal at the Amex on loan from Barcelona. It's a really tidy finish into the bottom left corner. And Brighton double their lead. And Ajax just keep on collapsing wherever they go. Really good play for Brighton. Gilmour was the man to bring it forward from the Brighton half. His ball out wide right to Adingra was well controlled as he chopped away from Bergwijn and dinked a little ball into the 18-yard box, finding the run of Ansu Fati. Good skill from the Ivorian winger, and it was one touch and a shot from Ansu Fati. His touch took him away from Satalo, and the finish went through the centre-half's legs into that bottom left corner. Ramage unmoved in the Ajax goal. And as Brighton search for their first ever European win, they go 2-0 up at home to Ajax. Really nice goal. Both of them have been nice. I mean, I know João Pedro's goal, like the finish, was a little bit boring, say. It was literally a tap-in from 6 yards. But that time, Dunk played it forward to Matoma, playing it through the lines, and then the Matoma shot was saved, and then rebound went in. But then again, playing through, Gilmour galloping through, getting it out wide to Adingra, went inside with a nice chop, then played it into the box. It's just good football. As Linson puts the ball into the box low for Ajax, dealt with in the end, and Milner at left back here has been brought down towards the byline, and it'll be a free kick for Brighton. But Ansu Fati, his first goal in the Europa League. It's his first at home for Brighton, third for the club. He's already scored twice against Aston Villa and Manchester City at the weekend. And now he's got one at the home turf of the Amex Stadium. Nice finish through the legs. Not much power, just nice little pass into the bottom corner. Very relaxed and composed. And, you know, he's a Barcelona player for a reason. He's clearly got talent and skill. You know, he's played 112 games for Barcelona. He's scored 29 goals for them, so he clearly got it. Obviously, just needs to be playing first-team football all the time. Because last season was a little bit, you know, it was not too bad, but obviously not to the standards of Xavi. It's Matoma, ball into the box. Fati again! Oh, just wide of the far post. If he could have just got a little bit of curl on it, Ansu Fati, that was nestling into the back of the net. Instead, it was just more of a straight shot, just wide of the post. He let it run across his body, struck it with his right foot. Oh, just wide of the post. Looking for a brace there, Ansu Fati. Matoma looking for the assist, but wide of the post it went as Brighton are now in the mood. So Ajax playing from the back with right back Gay into Satalo on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ball forward to Tahirovic. Pass deflected off Gilmour back into his path. And his second pass is better to Kenneth Taylor. He's been tackled, but the ball drops to Linson. Ajax on the attack. Berghaus on the right. Flag stays down for now. In the box. Cuts onto his left foot. Shoots at the near post off the post itself and cleared by Milner. First real opportunity for Ajax. It comes in the 56th minute. Steven Berghaus with the strike at the near post. And it hit the post and cleared. He plays it short to Linson. And he gets the return. On this near side. Crosses it. Nearly won with a header, but it's Van Hekke to head away. Met by the volley here of Sosa on the edge of the box. Cleared by Milner as it loops into the air and headed back by Lewis Dunk. How composed is that? And Jason Steele has it. Biggest chance though for Ajax. Steven Berghaus with it. Getting the ball in the right wing position, cutting inside, having the shot. Beat Jason Steele, but didn't beat the post. And from the resulting corner, nothing came of it for Ajax. Steven Berghaus. He's got the one goal so far this season. It came in the Europa League in the 3-3 draw to Marseille at home. But the post just not being his friend there. And Brighton survive a slight scare, even though they are in control of this game. But for De Zerbi, it is his first ever Europa League campaign. He has had one Champions League campaign with Shakhtar Donetsk in the 2021-2022 season, where they didn't win a single game in a group with Sheriff, Real Madrid and Inter Milan. But with Brighton now in the Europa League, they're starting to find their groove. Started with a loss, but now they're unbeaten in their last two in the Europa League, including tonight, if they go on and win the game. Sosa at left back for Ajax in his defensive third here, so got to play out from the back here, Ajax. It's to the edge of the box to Satalo. So now with goalkeeper Ramage, who's played 3 times for the Germany under-20s, now at the age of 22. The goalkeeper, as his clearance up the field, has been chested down by Milner into the path of Dunk on halfway, who will go back to Van Hekke. And it's just too easy. Just so easy for Brighton to win the ball back and have possession of the ball. And you got to remember as well, for Brighton, the injury list is increasing. Solly March is out for a while after being injured at the weekend against Manchester City. Estepinian's been out with a muscle injury. Jakob Murder's been out with ACL. He's back on the training pitch, but he's not going to be returning until November. Enciso's been out as well. Welbeck's injured. He came off in the 16th minute against City. So they've got quite the big injury list. Tariq Lamptey, I think, is also missing from the squad tonight. So Brighton have got a lot of injuries, but they're making it work so far. Yes, they've not won in their last 5, but they're winning tonight, and that's the main thing, because Ajax still have possession in their defensive third here on the edge of the box with Tahirovic. But it's played away from him. Taylor out to Sosa on the left. He's got forward from left back. Pulls it back on the edge of the box. It will not drop to Berghaus. Taken away by Billy Gilmour. He will charge down the Brighton left. And he will win the throwing off Berghaus. And it's going to be a double change here for Ajax. Number 33, Benjamin Tahirovic. Yep. Tahirovic comes off for Branko van den Boomen. Signed on a free from Toulouse in the summer. And number 23, who just hit the post as well, their most experienced player, Steven Berghaus, will be replaced by Mika Götze. Left winger, 5'9" Belgian, signed in January of this year from Genk. And he's making his 4th appearance for the first team this season. This is his first appearance in the Europa League this season for Götze. Did play twice in the qualifying against Ludogorets. But this is his first in the group stages as Brighton play out from the back with Gilmour taking it on the turn on the edge of his box and playing it out to the left of Milner. What's your opinion on the new format for Europe starting next season? As Gay has to try and deal with this Brighton clearance up the field, and Ramage, the goalkeeper, helps him by coming to collect it. I quite like it. I mean, it is basically the Super League, which is not what people want, but basically the new format for next year, it's going to be just a big group stage, basically, like a huge table, and each team will play, I think it'll be 8 games, I believe. But, I mean, if you get into the Champions League, so for example, say if you're a Newcastle and you've not played in Europe for ages and you get into the Champions League and you have 8 fixtures guaranteed against different opponents, like you could play Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, just thinking of teams off the top of my head, Napoli. You could play 8 huge games. It would just be great. I think it'd be better. I just think it'd be great. Better and bigger games in the group stages. I mean, some people won't like it, but I think it'll be good. I'm quite excited for it. I think there'll be a lot more bigger and better games on right throughout the competition, from the group stages all the way through. There'll be good games on all the time. But I don't know. I think it'll be good. But what do I know? Because, it's change and football fans don't like change. But we have it on the ball here. Midway inside their own half with Van Hecker for Brighton. With Gross, who's just 10 yards in front of him to his right. Again, looking for movement here. Pascal Gross, as he's been forced to his left to Billy Gilmour, back to Gross. And it's now with Van Hecker again, as Brighton just have possession of the football, as they are 2 goals to the good. A goal from João Pedro on the 42nd minute, and Ansu Fati just after half-time. Dunk forward to Fati, into the path of Gilmour. Tries to play it through towards João Pedro, cut out though by Sutalo. And Ajax are back in possession with Hato. Goes to his left back, Sosa. Inside to Van den Boomen. Goes out to the left to Taylor. Forward past the halfway line to Bergwijn. Takes it on the turn. He's being chased down here by Joel Veltman, but he'll keep the ball away from the Dutch right back as Steven Bergwijn just starts hobbling. Hopefully he's okay. I thought that might have been a muscle pull, but I think he's okay as the ball's been switched out now to Linson on the right. Chested forward by Gay, getting forward from right back. Out to Linson again in the final third. Oh, it's actually Götze, sorry, the new substitute. Here's Linson, linking up with him. Götze goes back for Sutalo. Out to the left to Sosa. Ajax trying to attack now. forward to Taylor, 25 yards out from goal. Plays it forward towards Broby in the box. His back was towards goal and his touch went away from him. And Brighton could pick the ball up now. And it's forward to Ansu Fati. Gross tackle unfairly by Kenneth Taylor. And it'll be a free kick for Brighton just behind the centre circle inside their own half. It's a great assist, by the way, for Ansu Fati's goal by Simon Adingra. He chopped inside and just played a nice lifted ball into him. It's his first start in the Europa League tonight as well for Simon Adingra. As Ansu Fati, the goal scorer of the second, he's got 2-2 now for the club. He'll be substituted off here for number 40, Facundo Buonanotte. Like for like change, Buonanotte plays in behind the striker usually. And their second change is going to be Billy Gilmour, number 11, who started the attack for the second goal. He will be replaced by number 20, Carlos Baleba, signed from Lille in the summer for £23.2 million. So two changes with 26 minutes to go for Brighton. Goal scorer Ansu Fati off and Gilmour off as well for Buonanotte and Baleba as well. Was it Baleba? I think it's Baleba. This dunk on the edge of the 18-yard box for Brighton. Still a dunk in his own half. Buonanotte getting his first few touches of the ball here off the bench in the Europa League. Buonanotte made a late substitute appearance against AEK Athens at home and didn't come off the bench against Marseille. He's yet to score this season as Milner gets forward from left back into the Ajax half. Chops back and goes into his own half with a pass dunk. Brighton have it on halfway here with captain number 5, Lewis Dunk. He's got the one goal so far himself this season against Liverpool at home in the 2-2 draw, and it's his second game in the Europa League. He missed the first one due to injury as Mitoma's been played through into the box here on the Brighton left, but he's well slide tackled there by Sotalo. Good ball around the corner there, looking in behind for Mitoma by Milner, but it's good defending from Sotalo. Signed for Ajax for €20.5 million, the 23-year-old from Dinamo Zagreb. Yes, Baleba for Brighton. The midfielder coming on, not Baleba. Making his 6th appearance for the club. It's his first in the Europa League as well. First European minutes for him in a Brighton shirt. It's Pascal Gross, in-swinger, far post towards Lewis Dunk. He slides, but can't slide quick enough to keep the ball in play, and he'll go for an Ajax goal kick. Thank you to everyone who is here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Next commentary coming up is Coventry against West Brom in the Championship on Monday night. As other scores around the ground, Aberdeen 2-0 up against PAOK in the Europa Conference League, and Liverpool still lead 3-1 against Toulouse, 4-1 against Toulouse now, just scored. Gravenberch with the goal. As Ajax on the halfway line with Gay, the right back, Gotts, the winger, pass forward, intercepted by Milner, and it'll be a throw in here for Ajax, about 15 yards into the Brighton half, and then they throw it all the way back to Sotalo, who just about kicks the ball back to his goalkeeper after being chased down quickly there by goal scorer João Pedro. Moved to England, João Pedro, in January of 2020 for Watford, where he ended up being captain at the back end of his stay at the club. 3.5 years at Watford, or just over 3.5 years. As it's now with Ajax with their goalkeeper. A third of the game remains as we just pass over the 67th minute here. It's Jarrell Harto with a ball forward in between the lines. Perfect definition of the pass. Linson strikes from afar and over the bar it goes. He scored twice at the weekend, Christian Linson, and he's gone for another shot there, about 22 yards out towards the edge of the box, but must have took a bobble or something because the ball was always rising over the crossbar there. as Brighton play out from the back. Scored the fourth most amount of goals in the league last season, Brighton in the Premier League. 72 they scored, which is a very healthy number. The only teams who scored more than them was City, Arsenal and Liverpool. So they do usually bring the goals, and they do usually concede the goals, especially this season. They've not kept a clean sheet in all competitions so far, but it looks like they might be able to do so tonight, which would be good for Jason Steele and his confidence, because to be fair, Jason Steele's been used for 7 games previous from tonight, 8 now, and they also used their new goalkeeper, Bart van Bruggen, for 5 games, and neither of them could keep clean sheets. Well, this is the first time these two sides have ever met before. Brighton will be the first English side to meet Ajax in the Europa League group stages. The last time Ajax played English opposition in the Europa League was in the final of 2017 when they lost 2-0 to Manchester United. As it's Brighton in possession just inside their own half with Lewis Dunk. And Ajax have lost 6 of their last 7 meetings with Premier League sides in major European competitions. Their last win came away at Tottenham in the Champions League semi-final 1-0. And we all know how that ended in the second leg with a Lucas Moura hat-trick. So they don't have a great recent history, Ajax, against English opposition. But Ajax are unbeaten in their last 11 group stage games. 5 wins and 6 draws. Their last loss in this competition came to Fenerbahce in October of 2015, and it could become 3 here. As Buonanotte has it for Brighton in the 18-yard box. Back it goes to Milner. It's now with Pascal Gross. Forward to Buonanotte. Out to Milner, furthest left for Brighton. Goes back to Pascal Gross. Forward to Baliba. Into the path of Van Hecker. Back out left to Buonanotte. Touch in front of his feet. Wants to strike from afar. Tried to take it on the right foot. Tackled there by Van den Boomen. And the tackle goes out for a corner. Doing his work there. The Ajax substitute midfielder, Branko van den Boomen. What a name that is. I could say that all day. It's such a great name. But Brighton have a set piece here. They want to try and make it 3. It's on this near side here. Here with Pascal Gross in swinger. Gross goes short to Buonanotte. Gets the return on the angle. Plays a ball forward to Dunk. Then back out to Buonanotte. Gets onto his right foot. Back out on his left. Tries to enter the box. Goes down under the challenge. And it'll be a goal kick. Looks decent. Buonanotte scored on his first Premier League start for Brighton last season away at Nottingham Forest. He's only 18 years of age, Buonanotte, born in December 2004. Younger than me. It's just crazy how all these players coming through now are just older than me. I don't like it. As Ajax play from the back from the goal kick, it's with their left back, Sosa, who dinks it across to Sotalo. Just inside the Ajax half here, they go out to the right here to Gueye, and it goes behind the right back, out for a throw-in for Brighton, just inside the Ajax half. And it's just painful for the Dutch side. They are just so void of any confidence, and you can't blame them. They've not won in their last 8. Their only win in the league came to a newly promoted team on the opening day. They beat Ludogorets in the qualifying, but they only won one of the 2 legs. It's just doom and gloom for them, isn't it? I hate you still, to be honest. I just don't think he's good enough, and neither is Verbruggen, but he's still young. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with Jason Steele, 33 years of age now. He was obviously second choice keeper to Robert Sanchez, and then De Zerbi came in and just preferred Jason Steele to Robert Sanchez, and Steele does seem to be the preferred number 1 at the minute compared to Verbruggen, who's on the bench tonight, their new signing from Anderlecht, 21-year-old goalkeeper. So, but, I mean, he obviously likes what Jason Steele brings. I mean, obviously Jason Steele isn't the long-term answer, being 33 years of age. And obviously Bert Verbruggen will be settling into Brighton and will come through eventually, being 21. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, De Zerbi's the manager, and he obviously sees something in Jason Steele. But the goalkeeper, Jason Steele, has conceded 16 goals so far this season in his previous 7 games, and hasn't kept a clean sheet yet. That could change tonight, in fairness. But yeah, I know what you mean. But I definitely think Steele is preferred because I think he knows the Brighton way of playing better than Verbruggen, because obviously Verbruggen only joined in the summer, so he's still settling in and learning the passages of play for Brighton. But Jason Steele kind of knows the De Zerbi blueprint better, so he'll be more comfortable playing out from the back. That's the only reason I can think, to be honest. Sorry, the camera's out of focus. Do apologise. There we go. Dunk has it for Brighton in the centre circle. All Ajax players still behind the ball. 2-0 so far. Van Hecke ball forward to João Pedro in between the lines. Great ball, Buonanotte trying to get away from Van den Boomen. Can't quite do so. The Ajax midfielder wins it and plays it out to the right to Mika Götze. He's running one-on-one here with Pascal Gross. Plays it inside towards Linson. It goes behind him and Baliba tackles for Brighton. And the Seagulls have it back. Just so good, isn't it? As play's been stopped as Dunk has it. Because Steven Bergwijn, Ajax's new club captain, he's their best player. He scored 4 goals so far this season, 1 in their last Europa League game away at Ajax Athens in the 1-1 draw. He's got 3 goals in the league, a brace on the opening day. And he is hobbling off. You know, it can't get any worse for Ajax. Their club captain's coming off injured. And he's their best player by far. And he's coming off injured as well. It goes from bad to worse. And I also think João Pedro is coming off. He scored his 4th goal tonight in the Europa League. It's his 6th of the season, and he'll be replaced by the star boy, number 28, Evan Ferguson. Joined the club in January of 2021 from Bohemians. He attracted interest from Liverpool at that time, but he chose to join Brighton instead. He's got 3 goals in 8 appearances for his country. Scored 1 in the most recent international break against Gibraltar. He's not scored though in his last 5 in the league for Brighton though, as Ajax have made changes. Not quite sure. I know Steven Bergwijn came off, and Brian Broby also came off. I'm just not quite sure who's come on. Chuba Akpom is one of them, and Silvano Vos. So Bergwijn, a left winger, off, and Brian Broby, the striker, off for another striker, Chuba Akpom, who joined in the summer from Middlesbrough for £12 million, and central midfielder Silvano Vos comes on. Silvano Vos missed Ajax's last game against Ajax Athens away due to picking up a red card in the opening game against Marseille late on in that game. So 2 changes, one of them the club captain who hobbled off as well, Steven Bergwijn. And Chuba Akpom is on. Was at Middlesbrough last year, had an unbelievable year, got 28 goals in the Championship. He was voted Championship Players Player of the Year. He also got EFL Player of the Year. Spent 16 years in his youth coming through at Arsenal, and now he finds himself at Ajax in a bit of a sticky situation. He's not scored yet for his new club, Akpom. As it's Brighton with 14 minutes to go until we hit the 90th minute. On the ball, midway inside their own half with Van Hecke. Forward to Buonanotte. He's dropped deeper for the ball here, and he goes back to Lewis Dunk. Across to Van Hecke, who looks like he is going to be getting his first ever win in his career against Ajax after 3 previous attempts that have failed at Herenveen. It's out to left back Milner, midway inside the Ajax half. As Ajax look to try and defend now as Matoma keeps the ball moving to Milner. Back into the Brighton half here with Pascal Gross. Across to the captain, the big man, Lewis Dunk. Gross. Gap. Forward. For Matoma. It's met by a slight challenge from Anton Gay, and it's a good one. Wins the ball. Well won there from the right back. He's dealt with Matoma decently well in the second half. Gay. But the pass there from Van den Boomen has gone straight out for a Brighton, throwing in the final third. Can't play out from the back there. Loses it, Branko Van den Boomen, who was signed from Toulouse. And when Toulouse was in League 2, the second division of France, 2 years ago, he got 12 goals and 21 assists in the second division for France, which is quite impressive here, as Baliba has it for Brighton inside their own half in almost a left-back area. And it goes inside now to Van Hecke, who's still in his own half here. The Dutch under-21 international. He's going to have to go across here to Dunk, who will repay it. Who will replay the ball back into Van Hecke. Gross, who's sat just in between the two centre-halves, goes to Dunk. He's on the edge of the 18-yard box now for Brighton. Gross back to Steele in the 6-yard box. Plays a low ball forward into Buonanotte, who's had to come back to help play out of defence here for Brighton as the ball's going to cross to Lewis Dunk on the left-hand side. Back into the feet of Jason Steele on the edge of the 6-yard box. Forward to Buonanotte. Gross. Out to the right here to Van Hecker. Towards the corner flag here. Just about keeps it in here. Down the line to Adingra, who has been tackled there by Mika Gotts. And we are throwing for Ajax, for Brighton, given away by Ajax. It's Jason Steele. Gets it out to Van Hecker on the edge of the 18-yard box, twisting, turning, playing it across goal to Dunk, who shifts it away from Linson and into the path of Milner. Down the line to Matoma on halfway, takes it away from Gay, but can't get away from the challenge of Sotalo, who has the captain's armband, by the way. That is how inexperienced and young this Ajax team is. Josip Sotalo is 23 years old. He's just joined the club in August, playing his 7th game, and he is the captain. Because Bergwijn's gone off, their club captain at the age of 26. Berghaus has gone off, who's 31, and the next in line is a new signing who's 23. That's what they're missing. They're missing experienced players who know the game inside and out. That's what they need to look at in January. I mean, they need to look at a lot of things, Ajax, but definitely look at bringing in some older players to help steer this ship away from the wreck that they're in. As it's Brighton still in possession on the ball with Van Hecker. Clipping it out to the left to Mitoma. Can't get there because Gay heads away. Past the halfway line, it'll be Gross to chase it down and get the ball back for Brighton. Played back into the 18-yard box to Jason Steele. It's now with Van Hecker. It goes back again to Steele as we have 10 minutes to go. Plus any added on time we get from the referee tonight. Dunk. It does look like Brighton are going to get their first ever European victory. And it will come at home at the Amex against Ajax. What a night. Milner down the left-hand side for Matoma. Won't get there ahead of Josip Sotalo, who will play back to his goalkeeper Ramage in the 18-yard box. Takes a touch out of his 18-yard box and the clearance has been stopped by Evans. Drops to Matoma. Ramage hurries back to his goal, but the ball's been played to Buonanotte. He strikes at the near post. Saved. It'll drop back out to Ferguson here on the left-wing position for Brighton. Ramage has had his blushes spared there after giving the ball away. Matoma played it through to Buonanotte, whose strike was saved at the near post. It was straight at the goalkeeper, in fairness, as Dunk has it on halfway for Brighton, as the Steagles still have the ball here. And it looks like they're going to make another change, Brighton, with 9 minutes to go when the ball next goes out of play. Adam Webster is getting readied, 28-year-old English centre-half. He's going to make his first ever appearance in the Europa League, as Veltman, in a right-wing position, has got it here for Brighton, formerly of Ajax, Joel Veltman. But the ball's been played back to Baliba. Now Pascal Gross. Midway inside the Ajax half, centre of the field. So he's got options left and right. He'll go out to the left here to James Milner. Back inside to Pascal Gross. Ajax just strolling around, not really knowing when to press, who to press, how to press. It's painful and they need a full restructure. You know, they've got decent quality players, Ajax. You know, it's not like they've got rubbish players. You know, they're they're just young. And they probably just don't have the required ability yet. But with the right coaching and everything, they'll become great players. But whoever comes into this Ajax club, an Ajax team, and takes over, big job on the hands. I've seen the likes of Ralph Hasenhüttl talks about as a possible replacement, obviously formerly of Southampton. As it's Brighton still in their own half here with Dunk. Just playing it around this Ajax team who, again, just can't deal with Brighton on the ball at all. The movement's too much for them. As Milner will surge forward from left back, midway inside the Ajax half on the far left-hand side, on this near side for us. Matoma takes it on the turn as he's passed the ball from Gross. She's tackled strongly by Gay, but he gets the ball back from him. It's now with Milner again on the left, the number 6 for Brighton, inside to Matoma. Back he goes to Gross. Back to Matoma on the left. Milner's just ahead of him on the left side, but he goes inside to Gross instead. And Brighton are keeping this ball beautifully, killing the game completely. Ball forward to Buonanotte, back to goal, so plays out to the left to Mitoma. Then furthest left here is Milner, midway inside the Ajax half. Still a bit of work to do for Brighton as they go back to halfway now to Lewis Dunk. It's now with Carlos Baleba. It's his first ever European appearance. Broke into the first team at Lille last season. And that's meant Brighton has paid a good £23.2 million for him. 6.5 minutes to go over the 90. Adam Webster still waiting on the near side to come on. Off the bench. To try and get his first ever European minutes. As it's still here. With Dunk. Baleba in the centre circle. Forward to Buonanotte. Outside of the boot ball, looking to the right hand side to Adingra. And they find him. He wants to go on the inside. He'll play it into Baleba on halfway. Back it goes to Dunk. Forward to Baleba. Back out wide left to Milner. He has been forced back here to JC Steele in the 18-yard box. Decent little press here from Ajax. Steele goes forward to Baleba. Out to the left to Dunk, who charges forward with the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. Plays a ball forward looking for Evan Ferguson. Cut out by Sitalo. It's now Van den Boomen, who's been brought down cynically there by Baleba. And it'll be a free kick for Ajax as here we go. Adam Webster will finally get on the pitch to get his first ever European minutes. So the first change is going to be Milner, 37 years of age, making his 21st Europa League appearance. He'll be replaced here by Mahmoud Dahoud. So I think Pascal Gross will drop into left back and Dahoud will play in central midfield, and then Van Hecker, who is on a yellow card, will be replaced for the last 5 minutes by Adam Webster, who 10 years ago was playing in the National League for Aldershot, and now 10 years on he plays and comes on for his first ever European minutes. So Van Hecker off for Webster and Milner off for Dahoud with 5 minutes to go. Mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. Next commentary on the channel is on Monday night. Coventry taking on West Brom in the Championship. As Aberdeen have been pulled back by Pauk. 2-2 now in that one for Aberdeen in the Conference League. And in the Europa League, Liverpool still lead by 4-1. As Ajax have it here on the left-hand side with Vos. It's now Gods. Back it goes here to Van den Boomen. It's now just in front of the halfway line with Hato. Gods works it out wide left here for Vos. Playing inside again to Van den Boomen, who needs to keep the ball moving. He does do so to halfway line to centre-back Sitalo. He's got the captain's armband on. He's going to drive it forward here and play it across the halfway line to Hato. Goes forward to Mika Götze. Try to twist and turn, but he won't get away from Veltman. And the ball drops in the end for Dunk on the edge of the 18-yard box for Brighton. Then back once more to Jason Steele. Forward to Baleba. He's just about kept it away from Taylor on the edge of the box. And the ball goes forward to Dahoud, who was brought in on the summer on a free from Borussia Dortmund. So a little bit of European experience for Mahmoud Dahoud. 12 Europa League appearances to be exact. Oh, misplaced ball from Baleba towards Ferguson. It's won back by Van den Boomen. He goes back to the halfway to Hato. Out wide left to Götze, who just about keeps it away from Veltman. And there's a switch out here to the right-hand side for Gay. Back into the Ajax half here with Josip Sitalo. Forward to Van den Boomen. Curling ball. Looking for Gay right back, and it will fall to him on the byline. He'll put a cross in, and oh my word, that just sums up Ajax's season. Great curling ball down the right-hand side. It went through to Gay as well after Gross failed to intercept. And he had chance on the byline to take a touch, look at his options, find the cross. What does he do? He takes it on first time. As the ball is bouncing, he completely miscues it and out for a goal kick. So bad from Anton Gay, who signed from Viborg last season, who was knocked out in the Conference League qualifiers by West Ham. But that was just shocking from him. Just take a touch and get the cross in. There's Dunk over the top, down the left side, looking for Mitoma, miscued into the hands of the goalkeeper, Deant Ramage for Ajax, as we've got just over 2 minutes to play. Plus added on time as Brighton are edging ever so close to their first ever European win in the club's history. Buonanotte. Ferguson on the edge of the 18-yard box as Ajax have been pickpocketed for possession, but Ferguson loses it there to Sitalo, and it's cleared away past the halfway line for Ajax, but it can't find Akpom. Brighton throw-in. But there is De Zerbi. 52nd game in charge of Brighton. This will be his 25th victory. And after being 5 games without a win at the minute, his first 5 games for the club came without wins as well. His first game was that 3-3 draw away at Liverpool. So his Brighton career didn't start great, and his last 5 haven't been much better. But we know what De Zerbi Brighton can do, and when they're on it and they're flowing, they're a great possession side. As it's Brighton on the ball with Adam Webster just in front of his 18-yard box here with a minute to go. As it looks like it's going to be Ajax to go 9 with no win. Dahoud on the edge of the 18-yard box, misplaced touch, but he takes it away from Linson. And he needs to distribute, and he does down the left side to Gross. He will drive forward here, the German international. Passes the halfway line, plays it forward towards Mitoma, but Anton Gay's there again to intercept. And the ball's been played forward here to Akpom. Good touch, but he's offside. Really good touch to get away from Dunk, and he was in behind there. Akpom, who took the number 10 shirt this year off Dusan Tadic, who left in the summer for Fenerbahce. Well, they have brought in 12 new players this season, and from the 12 players they brought in, the average age of the 12 are 22 and a half years old, which tells you everything you need to know. They've just brought too many young players who just aren't good enough yet for this level of football. As we've hit the 90th minute, and I can't imagine there'll be much time added on, if I'm not mistaken, as the 4 officials just put the board in the air, but the camera didn't catch how much was added on. With 3 minutes added on here at the Amex. As they've given the ball away here. Chance. Linson's in the behind in the box, but the pass is so poor, and it can be cleaned up here by Dunk. Kenneth Taylor charging on the edge of the box, just need to slip it through to Linson, who's coming into this game off the back of a brace in their last one against Utrecht. Just misplaced the ball, too much on it, couldn't get onto it, and Brighton cleared. But they have won it back here with Gay on halfway for Ajax on their right hand side. Now we switched out to the left here to Sosa, who just about enters the Brighton half. Still has it here, the left back. And goes back inside here to Harto, who goes across here to Sitalo, the centre half on halfway. Chips it in behind, looking for Gay, the right back. He brings it down nicely towards the corner flag. Really good touch there. And he plays it backwards, straight into the chest of Buonanotte. One good thing he does is met by a bad thing. It's just not been Ajax's night, has it? Pascal Gross will bring it away. By the way, versatility on Pascal Gross. Can play centre mid and left back. Real gem of a player, Pascal Gross, who was signed in July of 2017 for £3 million. He signed a contract extension, Pascal Gross, in April of this year to continue his stay until 2025. And he is set at the weekend against Fulham at home to make his 200th Premier League appearance, the German international. As we have got about a minute and 20 seconds left. It's Dunk on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ajax just running around, not knowing what they're doing. What a ball in between the lines of Mitoma on halfway. Heavy touch allows the challenge and the tackle from Van den Boomen. And Ajax have it back. And it'll be a throw for Ajax as Van den Boomen's first attempted pass was blocked. And he'll throw it to the edge of the 18-yard box here to Sitalo. Got a minute to go. It's about to be a very historic night for Brighton. And with it being so historic, there's quite a lot of empty seats that can be seen on the front 2 rows. I mean, it's your first ever win in Europe and you're leaving early. Like, come on. Stay behind. Quite a few empty seats. I mean, not loads, but, you know, visible empty seats. As Dunk plays it forward after intercepting an Ajax pass. Buonanotte out to the left to nobody. It went behind Ferguson and 2 in front of Mitoma to get to it. So Ajax can clear up with a clearance from the goalkeeper, Ramage. Finds Linson in a right wing position for Ajax, being forced all the way back towards a right back position for Ajax. And the free kick will be taken to his left to Van den Boomen. through the lines, past Baliba and Buonanotte, and he finds Kenneth Taylor. His options to his left here. He finds Mika Gotts. He's got the overlap of Sosa, the left back. He'll go on his own. Play it into Kenneth Taylor in the box. Tackled by Gross. Cleared by Buonanotte, who was fouled in the process. And that is that. It's history for Brighton and Hove Albion. It's their first ever win in Europe. It took them 3 attempts. Third time's the charm. And they have beaten Ajax by 2-0. Brighton end their 5-game streak without a win. Ajax are now 9 without a victory. And it was so good tonight from the English side. Played Ajax off the park. Their possession play, their movement off the ball, Ajax just simply couldn't handle it. And it is Brighton to get their first ever 3 points in Europe. They lost their first one at home to AEK Athens. They drew away at Marseille. And now at home to European giants Ajax, who are in serious turmoil. They've turned them over by 2-0 to win the game. Great commentary. Definitely watch the next one. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who was here listening live to this live commentary of Brighton against Ajax. It's a historic night for the English side who win their first ever game in Europe. They end their 5-game streak with no wins. Ajax now 9 without a win, without a manager, without direction, without a good team. It's seriously worrying for Ajax in the future of their club. They go at the weekend and they're going to play top of the league PSV. So it doesn't get any easier for the Dutch side. But they've come here tonight. And now, and as well, that is Ajax's first defeat in the Europa League group stage since October 2015. So they've gone on a good run in the group stage of this competition, but that run's been ended by Brighton. It is now 7 losses in their last 8 meetings against English sides in major European competition. Every single stat I'm reading out for Ajax is just doom and gloom, and that is the severity and the realism of the situation they're in. But more focus needs to go on to Brighton. What a job Roberto De Zerbi is doing, the Italian 44-year-old head coach. He's getting this Brighton side playing some really eye-catching football. You know, he just, as Ajax, just to stop myself there, the Ajax players have gone over to the travelling supporters who have met them with a round of applause. So the Ajax fans, despite 4 games ago, they had a game stopped and had to be finished behind closed doors due to their reaction. They do seem a bit supportive there, you know, applauding their players back. But literally, that game for them, for the Ajax players, must have been so mentally draining, because the way that Ajax had to just chase the ball around as Brighton just kept it so easily, bringing a fullback into midfield. Buonanotte when he came on, Matoma, Fati, Pedro making runs off the ball, sending players all over the place, creating spaces. Ajax just had absolutely no idea where to go, how to press, who to close down. It was a masterclass performance. Like, honestly, Ajax must be glad that's over, because they were seriously just being toyed around with at the end, especially by Brighton and Hove Albion. But just interesting scenes, how much of a contrast it is between two sides. You've got Brighton, who are bouncing in celebration after picking up their first European win, and then you've got Ajax players going over to their away supporters to have a conversation with them, as they are in a situation that is only getting worse. They've lost tonight. They've got top of the league at the weekend. If they lose to top of the league at the weekend, it'll be 10 games in a row with no win for Ajax. Seriously worrying statistics for the Dutch side. You know, if you're an Ajax supporter and you're an Ajax player, what's to say? There's nothing to say, I don't think. Like, the players know what the situation is. The fans know. They're managerless. They can't win a football game. The squad isn't good enough. I think the only message that can be sent to both of them is, don't give up. I think that'll be the only message. Just don't give in. You've got to just keep trying. And just, I think with supporters, for me personally, I don't care if my team loses if I see them put 100% effort in. I think it becomes a problem when you're seeing your team not, you know, putting in the effort. That's when you start turning. And that's maybe what the Ajax fans saw when they played that home game against Feyenoord, which had to be against AZ Alkmaar, that had to be played behind closed doors. They maybe weren't seeing the effort right. Tonight, they tried, they chased, but the team is just too inexperienced and just not good enough to deal with the style of play that Brighton bring. So, a lot of questions, a lot of answers needed, and a new manager needed as well for Ajax. I don't think a lot of managers will be racing for that job. I think a lot of managers will try and avoid this one because it's a big rebuild needed for Ajax, and it's a rebuild that is needed because they need to get back to the heights that they're usually at, top of the Eredivisie and challenging in Europe. Usually they are challenging in the Champions League, but finished third last year, so they had to go through Europa League qualifying, and now they're in the Europa League. But I'm going to stop going on with myself. I hope you enjoyed this live commentary of Brighton against Ajax. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn notifications on. The next commentary on the channel is Monday night. It is Coventry taking on West Brom. Monday, 8 p.m. kickoff. Make sure you're here for that one, as we're getting loads more commentaries coming up on the channel in the next few weeks. So make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on so you know when the next commentaries are scheduled. As I mentioned before, I schedule them days before the game, so you know days prior which games I'm commentating on, so you can choose if you want to watch it or not. Obviously, much appreciated if you do watch all of them. But for tonight, from the Amex Stadium, Brighton take down Ajax by 2-0. It was a footballing masterclass. Brighton hopefully now getting back on track after 0 wins in their last 5. They're now back on it after a 2-0 win tonight against Ajax. Ajax are collapsing. They're falling down. They need to be picked up somehow with a new manager. Will a new manager be enough to pick them up? We'll have to wait and see. But tonight, from the Amex, it ends Brighton 2, Ajax 0, and it's Brighton's first ever European victory.